Hello, lovely listeners, and good morning, Kim.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, everyone.
Welcome to One Harmonic Whole with Kim and Jill.
Yeah.
We are inviting you to like, subscribe, share, comment
For this daily podcast.
Yep, so it gets more attention, gets shared more, gets discovered more.
Yep. Yep. Sit back and enjoy today's message.
Hi, Kim.
Hello, Jill.
How you doing?
Just sniffing my clarity oil, trying to prepare for what she's going to throw at me today.
As soon as I said I wanted to record something,
Yeah,
things got kind of wacky in your system, Kim.
they did.
Yeah, what the heck?
Not a clue.
I was going to say, what the hell? Instead
No.
of say it outright.
Not a clue. And it's more, just my runny nose. Some mucus also starting to kind of come out, flow out somewhere, but I still don't hear anything or visualize. Nothing's there.
Yeah.
Just blank.
Yeah.
Very odd.
All right. Well, I had shared with Kim, I said, I have something that I'd like to share with you. And then all this stuff happened for you. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to start sharing and see what happens here.
Yeah.
I have gotten really deeply connected to an idea of fragmentation is what it's called, I guess, is the word for it. And I think so many of us are fragmented. And I had a couple of things that came to me recently, one that I thought was really fabulous, and I'm going to come back to in a moment about a coin. But before I go into that, Kim, I want to say that many times you and I personally, not often in recordings or public videos or that kind of thing, we have personally kind of tried to like even make sense of when we talk to people healing stuff, mind, body, spirit, where people say, well, I want to deal with, physical stuff first, and then I'll get to say the emotional stuff or to the thinking stuff. And you and I have oftentimes been, we can't separate them.
Right.
You've said that many times in your healing work with people, they're integrated, right?
Yep.
You can say primarily focus on the physical, but to focus on the physical to the exclusion, say, of the mind or the spirit or emotions means you won't actually make headways on the physical.
Correct.
Right. And that's what I mean by fragmentation. Like we seem to have as humans this pattern where we just want to continuously fragment or separate things. For some reason in us, we feel a sense of like, I can only deal with my physical right now, or I can only deal with this piece right now. I can only deal with whatever right now. And it's kind of like we have to come at it as a whole, but then we get overwhelmed when we look at the whole. So we feel a little trapped. So we're like, hey, I can't deal with it whole, so I have to do the fragmented, but the fragmented doesn't work. And then we sit there and go, well, what the hell?
Exactly.
So the metaphor that I really wanted to share with you is that I heard this week was something about, it's about a coin. And I got real fascinated by a coin metaphor when One Harmonic Whole first came through. That was how I started to understand One Harmonic Whole, was through the coin. And she can see it. Kim's making movements right now. She's picking up on it. And here's what I will say about it is that what was really landing with me about this coin thing is this person was saying, we live in a dualistic world. But what our mind tries to do is separate the dualistic world. And he said, that's like trying to separate a coin. Once you separate a coin is no longer the coin.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, Kim, I was like, that is what we have said so many times about wellness, about healing, about even thriving. Like we have got to be able to be integrated, not fragmented, not pieces, not parts. But how does that happen without being overwhelmed? Because something in our training, in our minds, has us think that when I look at the whole, it's too much. I can't handle it. And yet, going from the whole is the way to wellness.
It truly is. To me, if you talking about the physical, and I think of a cell, think of hemoglobin, all this stuff, oxygen. Oxygen we know it doesn't have sides to it. But it's going into your lungs and expanding your lungs. You have the front side, you have the back side. They expand out. They contract and they expand. And then I see these little alveoli. Yes, I'm going deep. And into the cells. Your body is like, if only one part's working, say the lungs are filling up with the oxygen, but it's not going anywhere else into like you. It fills energy. It gives your body strength. It gives your brain strength, that empowerment. You don't see the oxygen going anywhere, but it's there. You trust and you believe that the oxygen that's going into your body is going into those cells and cleaning out all the toxins and grabbing all the extra stuff, and then you're breathing out the garbage.
I don't even know if you have to trust and believe. I think it'll, even
It
if
just does.
it just does, even if you don't trust and believe it, it still happens, right?
It does.
For the vast majority of us, yes, it does.
This is wholeness.
Yeah.
This is wellness. Like, it flows when you're just in alignment with breathing in air. Like your body's going to do, the energy is going to do what it as it needs to do with it. And you just know that it's going to do it.
Yeah.
Your mind's going to have the power. Your thinking's going to have, your thinking's going to be on point. When you literally have everything that you need, when everything's flowing, that's when the body's doing its ultimate healing.
Right. And so I'm going to just go back in time here and go back to Kim when you and I really first started and not working in this way working. It started working as when I needed your assistance in terms of my healing, personal health journey. Okay. When I came in to see you, Kim, this is moving into 3-4 day headaches, lots of pain, lots of physical issues.
Yeah.
Okay. Lots of them. And trying very hard to regain wellness, if you will. And it's like, we get into a situation like that. In this case, I'm describing something that was very physical. Someone else could be in something that's very, say, mental or emotional or relational. It doesn't matter. Pick it. I was talking with someone earlier who has a couple of children, and it's, chaotic, lots of chaos. Could be that. The way to, I don't know if it's, the word isn't to heal, but the way to wellness with that is so much of what you've shared and what we've shared, Kim, is we've said, don't judge, be with it, allow it. It's almost so simple. It is so simple that we literally reject it over and over and over again. And I believe the reason why we reject it over and over again is because back to this fragmented idea, we've cut the coin in half. And we've said, it can't be that simple. I have to be over here uncomplicated. Well, in this dualistic universe that we live in, you know how we know simplicity? We know simplicity through the contrast of complexity. If we didn't have complexity, we wouldn't know simplicity. If we didn't have hot, we wouldn't know cold. If we didn't have up, we wouldn't know down. And we know this, right? Because it's contrast, it's duality. But yet when it comes to our wellness, we're like, oh, it's complicated. There's no way it can be simple. This has to be really hard. I have to do the physical and then I'll get to the other stuff first. We keep splitting the coin in half.
Yep.
And when I came to you, I would just wrap it up. One of the things that Kim did with me, Kim, is you just continuously held the space for where we were in that moment. You continuously held the space, held it. And in that moment, what rose up as the loudest, if you will, is what was done. But you didn't have a big plan attached to it. You didn't have a treatment plan. You didn't go, okay, we're going to start here, and then this is what's going to happen for the next 12 weeks. No, you very much did what I would call, to me, you brought awareness and attention just to what is. Here we are. You brought it back into wholeness. You moved it out of fragmentation. You moved it out of separation back into wholeness. And quite honestly, if I never would have gotten, the physical stuff wouldn't have gotten better. It kind of wouldn't even mattered.
Right.
It was a really nice benefit that it did get better.
Yes.
And that's a lot to Kim's help. But quite honestly, even the feeling of coming together, of coming out of being so fragmented, coming out of being so fractured, coming out of separating things. That, I believe, is ultimately what brought any wellness and healing.
Correct. We could have done everything physical correct for your body, and you still could have felt like crap.
Yep.
But using these tools, you were able to like calm down your mind, regain your power, regain your strength, and not letting other sources, influences, all that stuff basically take away your power. We allowed you to regain your own power, your own strength. You started making decisions for yourself.
Right.
That gives you power. That gives you strength. That gives you more clarity as to what does your body actually truly need, not what somebody else says or think you need.
Right. And when we're whole, when we're the whole coin, we can follow that guidance, that intuition. We might need someone to help us a little bit, like Kim helped me in that time. And that's why I came to see her, but I was still following my own guidance, Kim. I still came in to see you, not someone else, okay? Part of why I came in to see you is because I knew something in me, I knew I could trust you to help me, not to give me what you thought I needed. I knew you could help me. And anyway, I getting as sick as I did helped me understand fragmentation more than ever. And that looking at something, say, of in the past, starting with such headaches at such a young age, people would look at the physical piece, and it took so long to solve this, if you will, to come into wellness with this, if you will, because it took me quite a long time to find someone like Kim who would look at it from wholeness. Didn't look at just, all right, let's deal with the headaches. Let's deal with just the physical. Like every time, if you'd even try and say to Kim, try it sometime. I challenge any one of you who knows Kim to say, Kim, I just want to deal with this one piece of myself. She will instantly just be like, I can't do that.
Exactly.
Nope.
Yeah.
So this coin and this trying to either split a coin in half, like the other half doesn't exist, which quite honestly is usually the part of us we don't like, or the part of our life we don't like in that moment, we're judging it. Or we're trying to not look at that other side of the coin. So I was talking with someone this morning with the kids. I could energetically tell that there was a lot going on with the person. And we had just kind of, socially crossed each other's paths. How are you doing? The response was what was supposed to be said. And I just said that. I said, oh, that's the socially accepted response. I said, how are you really doing?
I'm good.
Right?
Yep.
The half of the coin, the side of the coin, the dualistic world, the half that wasn't pretty, was being covered up. And it's not a problem, because when I said, how are you really doing? I said it gently enough that this person could have completely ignored me and just laughed and said, I'm fine. And it would have been fine.
Yep.
The point of sharing this really is that by simply shining some light on that dualistic, on that other part, rather than fragmenting it, cutting it off, pretending like it's not there, we shine some light on it, had a little conversation about very lighthearted. And it was a short conversation. And as this person was leaving, she turned and she looked at me and she said, thank you. And I just sit there like going, it's my pleasure, because what she was showing to me is, in that moment, Kim, there's something in my life that I'm not looking at right now, because I have someone right in front of me showing me and this is no judgment. This is just pure observation. We are well trained to not look at the one side of the coin, or to cut it off, or pretend it's not a problem. Don't even care why. We could go into it. There's so many reasons why. What I will say is just bringing awareness, attention, it brings energy to it. It starts to integrate it already. It starts to bring it, I want to say brings it together. It doesn't even bring it together. It was always together. It starts to get rid of the stuff in us that is trying to separate it, that is trying to fragment it. Kira's just sitting here yawning.
Yep. Ooh. When she says that, it creates a beautiful energetic vibe that's coming out that is very healing. So this is the reason why I'm yawning. It's like it creates a big shift, like a relief, almost like a sigh, not a sigh, excuse me, a relief. Like you just took a nice deep breath and you're just like, oh, like, yes, I like that. That feels good. Like that type of vibration when she's saying this. That is the yawns that are coming through. Yes. Your your interaction with this lady. I will have to say most of the reasons why people do not ask or actually literally say, no, really, how are you doing? Is that people are so consumed with the amount of time they're going from here, they gotta get there. They just don't have in their mind, they don't have the time to listen to somebody else's worry. And I know some people off the top of my head right now that are in my head that if I come across them in, say, at the grocery store and I ask them really how they're doing on that loving, unconditional level, I know I'm going to be standing there for probably an hour listening to their story, listening to one thing after another, after another, after another. And so there's times where I will literally just walk by. I will say hi and I'll move on.
Yeah, I'm not encouraging people to do this all the time. I will back
Yeah.
up in the story a little bit and say initially when I said, how are you doing? The response was, I don't know. And to me, that was really insightful.
Yes.
Because it had a resonance of truth.
Yeah.
This person hadn't given enough thought to it, but also hadn't been asked.
Yeah. Which is beautiful.
Right. And that did show me like, oh, but also there was
there was a beautiful exchange of energy that you had the time, you had the space, you were in a healing space, if you want to call it. You were in that vibration. Okay. She picked up on it.
Yeah.
So her energy essence was literally like knowing that it's going to be safe to say something to you.
Yeah.
You picked up on the tone. So you were in oneness. You were in wholeness, basically.
I was in my own wholeness in that moment. And then she showed me, though, that there was still a piece of me that I was fragmenting and pushing off. Because when I said, how are you? And she said, I don't know. I was like, this was all very, very fast, mind you.
Yeah.
I realized, oh, there's something for me to see here. No judgment. It was very lighthearted, very wonderful. Also, I don't believe that question would have opened up if the circumstance would have allowed. I don't believe it would have opened up an hour unloading because the energy of it, Kim, was it was a space that was held in wholeness and healing. You don't need that much time.
Correct.
Right? We've been talking about time, and now we're shifting into wholeness.
It's a beautiful shift in how we were given these bodies, these souls, useful tools inside of us. This is how we're meant to be used.
Right. And it begins in large part. I believe that interaction went the way that it did. And it was extremely wonderful and healing for both of us, quite honestly. I believe it went that way because I have been very, very diligent of late of moving out of that fragmented experience and moving out of denying the other side of the coin, of just being with things and seeing it. And it's shifting into, I'm kind of struggling for words here a little bit because it's like it's been shifting me into what I would call is what is really reality. That's how we're supposed to live. We're not supposed to be fractured into all of these pieces, never having enough time. Sick.
Yep. The fragments are, think of them as just tools and resources. They're not the ultimate healing. One thing cannot heal over, okay. Analogies in my head. They're showing me like one fragment is a hammer. And it's like I have a hammer. hammer can be very useful for a lot of tools, a lot of things in our life, but it cannot fix everything at all. So then what else do I need? Oh, okay, I might need a saw. Oh, I might need water. Like there's different things. So fragments are meant to be honored, respected, utilized, but you can't just have one without the others.
Right. They're not supposed to be. It's like you sit here and you see yourself, here you are, and you don't get to say, oh, now I'm a hammer and none of the rest of me exists. Like you said,
Yeah.
it's a tool, right? But
Yep.
that's what we do.
Yes.
And to bring this into the mind, body, spirit aspect, which I personally have struggled with the mind, body, spirit thing for years because I'm like, what? And I get it.
Yes.
But I'm also like, mind, body, spirit, because I wanted to fragment it into, okay, there's the mind, then there's the body, and then there's the spirit, and they're integrated. And I've seen the overlapping circles, but I've never really quite been able to understand it. And here's why, Kim, or here's how I made sense of it is, let's say in this moment, right now, something's going on. And what I will do now is I realize I'm like, oh my goodness, I have like withdrawn myself from every part of who I am except for mind. I am saying I'm the hammer right now.
Yeah.
I'm all in my mind. And that just by realizing that, I look at that and then I shift to that wholeness, to that integration. I just set a slight intention, like, okay, I'm defined by my mind right now. I'm saying I'm a hammer. I'm so much more than that. Might be all that I say. I'm so much more than that. And then things shift.
And they do.
Just by doing that,
Yes.
it shifted. It already shifted. Even the energy here as we're talking
Yep.
shifted. And why I'm sharing any of these things, Kim, is because this stuff is so deeply ingrained in us and so deeply unconscious to only see one side of the coin, if you will, to stick with the metaphors, to say we're the hammer rather than to realize a hammer is a tool. To say, I don't know what my phone keeps calling me. Someone's calling.
They're looking for your extended warranty.
Yes.
They're only one-sided.
Yeah. He's like, coming in to see, even come in and see Kim, and people will say, I want to fix my body.
Yeah.
And Kim, you're like, well, you can't fix the body without the mind piece in it. And it's not even fixing the body that we're looking for. What we're looking for then, if the body needs fixing, what we're really looking for then is wholeness. Or if it could be balance would be another word.
Yeah.
Give it whatever name you
Yeah.
want. But see, we are so trained that I have to come to Kim and say, Kim, I have to, say, maybe you may not be the person for this, Kim, but mental health. I need to go and see
Right.
someone who's going to address mental health. Well, if you're addressing mental health, but not addressing, say, nutritional intake, is going to be a rough road to balance mental health if you're not looking at the nutritional imbalances within the body.
Yep. Exactly. There's a lot of people that come because they want to open up their intuition. They want to be more, energy healers or learning how to understand their energy. And it's like, okay, well, what's also going on? There's an imbalance in somewhere else. If you're struggling to understand your intuition, there's something physically or mentally going on there too. So again, where is your body more than likely compensating?
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at one area is going to be stronger than the other. That's holding on to imbalances. So we get them balanced out.
Yes.
Everything else starts to flow and you're like, oh my gosh, like my intuition.
Okay, so let me rephrase this. This is how simple this is. Rephrase coming in to see Kim. In the fragmented, separated, cutting off the half of the coin, or cutting the coin in half or not looking at the other side of the coin. I come to see Kim and I say, Kim, I want you to help me fix my body.
Yeah.
And Kim's like, no. As soon as I see you sitting there ready, you're starting to shake your head.
Yeah.
But if I come to Kim and I say, Kim, I need help rebalancing my body.
Yes.
Oh,
that feels more open, more understanding, more aware that something is off. They're not focused on one particular area. They're just saying like, okay, I'm ready to listen. I'm ready to be present. Here I am.
I come to Kim and I say, Kim, I want you to help me improve my mental health.
And then I laugh.
Okay. Right?
Yep.
And I could come to Kim and say, Kim, I would like your help. What would I say? I'm not even sure. I'm actually just pretending like I'm in
Right.
someone's shoes. Like I go, I'm not even sure how to say this. I want more calmness, more balance, more wellness.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm hearing, there you go. There you go. Yep. Keep going. It's like it opens a beautiful doorway.
Yeah.
It's definitely a whole different vibration, but a whole different mindset of being whole and not just focused on one area.
And we live in a world that has fragmented data and information to an infinite proportion right now. And it's just going farther and further. And it's not inherently bad that our world is doing that. It can have its place. Like if you need heart surgery, it's really fragmented, important to go to a heart surgeon.
Yes. Absolutely.
It's super helpful. But when you're in this more middle ground, which quite honestly, the vast majority of people are more in a middle ground of unwellness. They're not in the more extreme, I have a broken leg, I need someone to set my leg. I have a heart condition, I need a heart surgeon. Do you see? Most of us are very lost in that middle ground of unwellness. I'm not sure what's going on. I just don't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And you might even go see a doctor, and the doctor is like, I don't know what to do with that.
Your labs are normal.
Everything's normal. And you sit there going, oh my God, I don't feel good.
Yeah.
Those things are happening. It's probably because of the imbalance of separation within you. You are not mind, body, spirit. Those are tools of who you are. You are one whole experience. And it truly is just time for us, for those of us that aren't in those extremes, saying a broken bone, needing someone to set a bone. If it's not that straightforward, correlated what your solution is, if your labs are normal and you still feel like crap, you're lacking wholeness.
Yep.
You're lacking the balance that wholeness brings. If your labs are out of, what would it be, range?
Yep.
Is that the correct word?
Yep.
If your labs are out of range, they will have a solution of what direction to go.
And then you have a choice.
And then you have a choice in it.
Yep. Everything in life is choices too, by the way. Choices without judgment. That brings wholeness.
I actually really, it's funny you say that about choices. I was such a big one on choices for so long. And very, very recently I've gotten to, I actually believe our choices, are we going to manage, deal, address something? It's like one choice. Are you going to manage it from separation, or are you going to manage it from wholeness? And once you've made that choice, all the other choices are like, they'll just start showing up for you to even have to make them anymore.
Exactly.
So it's really one choice.
Yep. But what choice are you going to make?
Oh, which choice are you going to make? Oh my God, I'm getting so many chills right now as we're saying this. And I think, Kim, when, just to kind of bring this back to that, when I came to you with such physical challenges, my choice was wholeness. That's why I came to you. I was like, I know Kim will help me address this from a place of wholeness. And it did, like, and quite honestly, I will say, I didn't come to you, basically the leading issue here is the fact that I have these headaches.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, don't care how we manage it. I would just like to be back in balance, where headaches and pain are not the definition of my life.
Yes.
And I think the way that I languaged it to you, Kim, indicated to you that I was willing to look at this from wholeness, from the integrated, not from the separated. It was the separated, it was the fragmented that had gotten me there. But just for those listening, in case you don't know, the getting me there started at 6 years old, and it was decades later that I'm in seeing Kim. The reason for that, the fragmented, and the reason for needing the whole is literally like a part of my life's reason, my life's purpose, if you will, is coming into like my whole life, Kim.
Yeah.
Something inside of me has been calling to wholeness and balance. And I've experienced a lot of physical problems throughout life by engaging fragmented imbalances and trying to do what I was told. Oh, you should do this. And then I'd get sick.
Yep.
And I could have defined myself by that person. I could say, oh, and I used to define myself by that person who gets headaches. I used to define myself by the person who had these problems. And now I just look and I go, they are all pointers bringing me back into wholeness.
What a beautiful place to be.
Yeah. The harder the challenge that you're facing, the more difficult it is, say. Truly what that means is that's how deeply committed you are to learning whatever comes of it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're facing a lot of, right?
Yeah, as soon as you say that, I'm heard, well, that's a beautiful way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Deeply committed. Yes.
Deeply. There's something in
Yep.
you that's deeply committed. And so what you'll find out is if you just look at the deep commitment and go, wow, I'm really deeply committed to this. And if you can stop yourself from fragmenting things, from breaking it into pieces, from separating it out, from cutting the coin in half, or only looking at the shiny side of the coin and not the tarnished side. If you can bring yourself back into looking at all of it, as we say, Kim, without judgment, just looking at it, that deep commitment that you have will become like a reality for you almost effortlessly. Like I say almost effortlessly because you still have to be involved in that one decision we make, right? You still have to say, I'm picking wholeness. Kim told me to stop eating, say, junk food. I've got to stop eating junk food.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the involvement is.
Yep. That and there's a choice. If you eat something, when you pay attention to how you feel after you eat it, you already have your answer. You don't need me or anybody else to tell you to stop eating that. It's like these are these no-brainer choices. Like,
yeah, they're kind of almost not even choices.
Right.
It's like when I look at someone, like you and I have talked about this, yeah. When you look at someone who eats a lot of junk food and then they don't feel well, and you just kind of look at them and just go, okay. And you just kind of smile because they know somewhere in them that eating junk food is contributing to this. And so I don't even want to have necessarily a debate with someone anymore about that or even that conversation. I might really tune into my wholeness, really tune into what I'm looking at when I'm seeing someone in front of me who's eating junk food. What I'm looking at is the tarnished side of the coin. I'm looking at the not so pretty side of the coin. And what I need to become aware of, Kim, is what I will instinctually want to do is judge that as bad and not good.
Yeah.
And it starts to take on this really icky energy. Can't you feel it?
Yep.
You're making faces right now, right?
Yep.
It's just icky. And it's like what I need to do is stop myself and back up. Oh, back up out of that energy and go, okay, Jill, you know what? If you can't come to this person who's eating junk food from a place of wholeness, from a place of integration, then don't come to them at all because it's not going to help them to judge them, to bring in icky energy on top of an already icky energy. I would help them more by withdrawing and redoing my energy and figuring out if I can ever come to them from wholeness. And if I can't come to them from wholeness, then I say, I can't come to you with wholeness about this. All I can do is ask you to see someone who can. You don't feel well and you eat a lot of junk food. That's all I know is the two. And you say you want to feel well. All I know is it seems that it's part of it to me.
That is a very, very beautiful and empowering statement that if you did not hear what Jill just said, rewind and listen to it again. This is what more people need to do in this world right now. It's care, it's compassion, it is healing. If you cannot say something nice to somebody or give them positive advice that's healing for them from a place of wholeness.
And to me, positive, sorry to jump in there, Kim, but to me, positive really means more helpful.
Yes.
It's not positive, and because we have positive, negative, we have this really strong separation of that, right? Helpful. if
Yeah.
it's not helping them.
And step away.
Yeah.
Don't say a single thing. Let that go. They will find who they need to go to. With you saying, well, you eat like crap, what do you think's going to happen to you? How is that helpful?
It
makes
makes like
them
you just stated the obvious. We already know this. But if you said that same thing from a space of wholeness and say, you know what, Kim, I know you don't feel well. And maybe I am stating the obvious here. I just feel some reason from me. I just feel some reason that I'd like to say this, that I do see a lot of junk food being eaten, and perhaps that's something to look at. And I don't know, even that feels a little weird to me saying that to you.
Yeah.
Like that's literally what I might say to someone if I feel so compelled that I have to say something.
And the way you're saying it, there is a difference. There's not like a judgment piece. It's more a statement, and there's love and compassion going through it.
And the entire time I was saying it, Kim, what I was doing is I'm feeling within my body and my being. I'm feeling what I'm experiencing.
Yeah.
And as soon as I start to feel this kind of icky, oh, I'm fighting. I'm starting to separate myself. If I'm starting to like feel like I'm so important that I get to tell Kim what she should do. And I can feel that Kim is like in her going, F you, Jill. I language it fragmentation because I've lost my connection to my whole inner self, inner center, into my energy, if you will. I've gone off on some sort of tangent, and this tangent that I'm going off on right now, let's say it's about, say I'm specifically talking to Kim about her eating junk food. Okay, we'll just personalize it to us, Kim. As soon as I go off into my mind, I have now abandoned my body and my spirit. I'm off somewhere floating in my mind, in my opinions and observations of Kim that I think are so important that I have to tell her about them without tuning in again into my wholeness, into my center, into my being. And I start just spewing this stuff off at Kim. It's quite honestly an absolute waste of time, energy, and effort. I would have been much better off to have just been tuned in and just noticed, brought awareness and noticed that, oh my goodness, I just got off in my mind. Or after the fact, I got off in my mind. I spewed a whole bunch of crap onto you, Kim, and I'm really sorry that I did that.
Yep.
That's bringing awareness to it. That's recentering myself. And saying, I still don't really know where to go with this because I'm still concerned that you say you don't feel well and you're eating a bunch of junk food. But can you feel the difference right now, even as I'm saying that? And I can feel the difference within me as I'm speaking from wholeness.
And what me, let's say I'm the person who was eating the junk food, and I'm telling you, man, I just feel like crap lately. Oh, I just don't know what's wrong. Ugh, like, I just can't figure it out. Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm lost, basically. And as Jill coming from a place of wholeness, if she would just say, like, oh, I hear you say that. What do you think it is? What do you think it is? Right there, that puts it back onto them.
Yeah.
And you will notice if they have inner judgments, you will notice if they have like just a complete denial of what's really going on. Most of the time, people actually know exactly why they feel like crap. They really do.
Yep.
But they've never really had the opportunity. The opportunities. So years ago, say 50 years ago, that's what doctors did. People would come in and they said, Doc, I don't feel good. And the doctor would be like, okay, what's going on? Tell me about it. What do you think's going on? It was very a different type of healing modality.
I call it the art of healing. And what to me, what that means, just to be clear, Kim, is the medical people knew as much scientifically as what they knew.
Yeah.
But they also knew the art of identifying their limitations. And it instantly flashed to a scene in a TV show recently that I saw. It's older, so it's set back in time. And so doctors and medical didn't know as much as we know now. So they had to have more art form. And basically the patient was saying, so am I healed? And the doctor said, I know for right now you're doing well, but I can make no promises. that was the art because it was the truth. The doctor couldn't make promises because they didn't have the understanding of the ailment that we have now. Now that same ailment, oh, we'd be able to test for it.
Yeah.
And we'd be able to resolve it because we have something called penicillin.
Yep.
This needed penicillin and they didn't have it then. Okay. So the artful healing response was to admit limitations and say, don't know. But we have such a fear of limitations now. We have such a fear of not knowing everything that people will kind of, I'm just going to say it, they'll just lie.
That's that tarnished side of the coin.
It's the tarnished side of the coin. And we just so instinctually over and over and over again separate that tarnished side. I can't look at it.
Yep.
Let's not look at this.
Yep.
And
create a bigger story, like the lies, the
anything just to not look at the other side of the coin. Or the doctor, and it's not picking on doctors in particular people.
Right.
This has just come up. So I'm going to say it's like, I've come to see you, Kim, and I feel like crap. And you tell me all your blood tests are normal. No. That doctor literally is not even allowed any longer in that system to bring in the art form.
Right.
And to say, I understand you're not feeling well. They literally, and so you have to look at that system and go, this is not the place for me to get the answer. It's also not the place for me to go and complain to other people that I didn't get an answer from. I mean, you can do that, but you are engaging separation on top of separation on top of separation. Some people call it denying if you're not separating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's something that I would like to call, it keeps coming up, it's called bits and bytes. Okay. Computers are really good at it. Oh my God, you're so funny.
There's just something that popped up in my head with what you said, and it has nothing related to this at all, but the words, somebody else says something and it makes me laugh every single time, and it's almost identical to bits and bytes, but they say something else.
Okay.
It just makes me laugh. Like those memories, those good feels.
Good
Bits and
feels.
bytes. Yeah.
Memories are good things, yeah.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. Bits and bytes should make us laugh and should be entertaining. And they are until they're not. Until the bits and bytes get to be too much and we can't keep up anymore. And because we can't keep up anymore, we start to shut off parts and pieces of us. She's doing something over here that is just wild.
I just see bits and bytes and I feel like I'm like a little dog, like eating bits and bytes. Till I'm like full. Yeah. I'm like, oh, too much. And I still see a whole lot more there. Okay, I'll fit some more in there.
Okay, but as a good pet owner, what should you do with the dog that keeps eating bits and bytes?
Only give him so much that he can handle.
You have to realize, and that's what we don't do with ourselves. We keep going with the bits and the bytes. We keep going like we're a supercomputer. People.
Oh my goodness. Welcome to my mind, everyone. Welcome to my mind.
The thing is, we are the ones who have to moderate our bits and bytes.
Mm-hmm.
We are the ones who have to find the support if we're not capable of that, and the support that's in balance with who we are. Not advocating our power to someone else, but someone who will complement us and keep us in wholeness until we can say, I'm eating too much of the bits and the bytes. And to me, the bits and bytes are actually information.
Yes.
I think we're pretending like we're supercomputers.
Yes.
We can't keep up.
Why not? Why not? This body is supposed to be super powerful. It's supposed to be able to do all this amazing stuff. Like we were given all these tools and these resources. Why can't it do that? I don't understand why.
Because there's a part of us, and there's the simplicity of it. And I think we're going to wrap up with this, Kim, is that there's a part of us that does not believe what I'm going to say right now. Which is if you would only bring awareness and attention to it without any judgment and believe. You don't even have to believe, just bring awareness and attention to it, and it'll do what you described earlier, Kim, about the cells and oxygen. Yep. It will work. It will work. You have to bring awareness and attention back to that wholeness. You have to withdraw yourself from the separation. You have to withdraw yourself from the denial of the tarnished side of the coin. You need to be willing to see all of it. Yep. in its glory, good, bad, and otherwise. Because it's not good, bad, and otherwise. It's in its glory. And when you see all of that, when you are that willing to have awareness of attention of what is without the judgment, without the here it is, everything starts to come back into its own place automatically without you involved.
Exactly.
And if you are a highly separated individual, which many of us are, you have loads of objections running through your mind right now saying, there's no way that works. There's no way that works. What can I do? There has to be more. It has to be harder. But there's something deep, deep, deep within you that knows it does work.
And as I'm sitting here, I will tell you there's an extreme amount of peace flowing through my entire body. There's not a thought. There's not like a feeling, neither good nor bad, just it is. It's peace that is completely there. It's inside every single one of us. When we're at peace, that's whole. It's there.
Yes, and when we are at peace and when we are whole, that happens when we can have the statement, which is come what may, and we're still in peace and wholeness. That means anything shows up and we're still capable of being centered, of being whole. That's really living. I think that's really being alive. That's wellness. That will bring healing if you have physical things. Even if that physical thing doesn't shift, you will find a way by just being with it that it works.
Yep.
That's all I got, Kim.
Beautifully said, Jill. Beautifully said.
Wow. That's not all I got. That's all I got for today. I've got infinite resources inside of me, just as we all do.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts?
No. Feels good. Feels really good.
We need peace. We need wholeness.
Yep. There.
We need the internal wars to be calmed.
I'm like, yes, please.
The world needs that.
Yeah.
And it truly is as simple as that decision as often as you can throughout a day. Are you going to fragment? Or are you going to be in wholeness?
Yeah. Are you going to stay with?
Come what may. Which one are you going to do? I know which one I am.
Let me guess. Wholeness.
I also know which one Kim is.
Yep. We stay in the vibration of it. And sometimes it is challenging. I will admit there's days where we honestly not tested, but kind of feels like we're being tested. Like, are you going to stay in this wholeness? We're going to present you with this challenge, with this experience. What are you going to choose? And some of it doesn't look always pretty, but we will not, if you didn't have that choice to understand the contrast, how would we?
I was going to say, that's part of it. No one ever promised you a rose garden.
No.
No, I wish I came to it. That's the point. The point is, come what may, it's not all going to be beautiful.
Right.
It's, as a matter of fact, much of it may not be beautiful, but once you start to come from wholeness, even things that we used to judge as not beautiful start to have a certain glimmer of beauty to them. That's deeper stuff. That's more advanced, if you will. I think we'll, certainly could get there someday if we want, but I guess, Kim, if I were to sum this up, this what Kim has said over and over again, stop judging.
Yep.
Even the things that are not that fun and not even those tough days, just sit down. Don't judge it. It was just a harder day than yesterday. It was just different. It's the tarnished side of the coin. Okay?
Yep, exactly. Just, it is what it is.
It is. It was the tarnished side, but hey.
Today's a new day.
This moment is.
Yep. Make a different decision.
Very good. All right.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Until next time. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This is Kim and Jill with One Harmonic Whole Dailies Podcast.
Yeah. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, anything that you can get our podcast out there. share with a friend today. Somebody needs this message.
Yeah, we'd appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you so much for listening.